Alright, so my brother from another mother, shout out to Breakthrough, bro, for this video, man. So basically, it comes to find out, you know what I'm saying? Last of Us 2 story is gonna be long as hell. It's gonna be about, just the story itself, gonna be about, what, 30, 40 hours, something like that. Something in that area. Something in that area for sure. It's gonna be crazy. You know, ooh, that junk gonna be tough, bro. And also, Joel's gonna be playing a major role in the story. Like, he's gonna have a major role. People think he's gonna die. People think this and that. I don't know what's gonna happen, but all I know is his role is gonna be crazy. It's gonna be phenomenal. So, stay tuned for that. But hey, hey, let's go ahead and get into this video, though.
Going, guys, we're gonna break through gaming. In today's The Last of Us Part 2 video, I have some crazy information. We finally have confirmation on how long this game is going to be. Now, I'm talking about, yes, black and white confirmation on how long and how many hours this game's storyline and main campaign is gonna take for us to play through. And we also know that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be shipped on 2 Blu-ray discs. So think about this for a second. You know, everybody
y'all can get that.
Over the multiplayer,
I'm getting digital.
saying, oh my god, it's not included in The Last of Us Part 2, or some other people were arguing that Naughty Dog is only keeping the multiplayer something separate so they can make more money, which I'm not saying is necessarily wrong, but take a look at this. The Last of Us Part 2's storyline, the campaign alone, is going to take 2 Blu-ray discs.
Bro, that shit gonna be crazy,
that doesn't even include multiplayer. Now, in regards to multiplayer, even though I won't be going into details too much on that aspect, I will say this. Yes, multiplayer is still coming. It is confirmed. It is not going to be a part of The Last of Us Part 2. They have decided to have a completely separate disc for multiplayer and factions, but rest assured that throughout this entire few years that they were working on The Last of Us Part 2, they are also, to this day, still working on the multiplayer for The Last of Us Part 2.
That's what I'm saying,
so
bro.
Even though it's going to be on a completely different disc and release at a later time after The Last of Us Part 2 comes out, it is still so big and so
separate
detailed
game
and in-depth, like The Last of Us Part 2, that they're going to be releasing it in its own disc. That alone motivates me and it gets me happy because we have a game that is so much more detailed and so much longer than The Last of Us Part 1. We are going to be forced to enjoy it for what it is, and then if you want to buy the multiplayer at a separate time, you can take that route if you want to be a part of the factions community. At least Naughty Dog did not leave us fans of multiplayer out of the window. They didn't just throw us out of the car. We are still on the ride, and we're still going to be
after we beat the
experiencing
game
a heck of a multiplayer. And I say a heck of a multiplayer because they've been working on it for just as long as they've been working on The Last of Us Part 2, and they are still working on multiplayer for The Last of Us Part 2, and that's exactly what they're calling it. Naughty Dog's official website for their job listings. They're not calling it separate disc, they're not calling it factions or any separate name. They're still calling it The Last of Us Part 2 multiplayer, which is great news. Now, something I really wanted to talk about is how long this game is going to be. It's going to be 30 hours.
30 hours,
long,
that's
guys.
30 hours. There we go. 30 hours.
Gross, co-writer for
I thought it was
Naughty
like 40.
Dog, confirmed that it's going to be 50% bigger. Yes, 50% bigger than The Last of Us Part 1. We also got a comment from Druckmann on how he's going to describe the game compared to the first one, and the pacing of the first game. We know how adrenaline driven and the emotional rush that we would get by playing The Last of Us Part 1. What Neil Druckmann contributed that to, that aspect of the game, that rush that we get, is because it's not as open world as, for example, Grand Theft Auto. He wants to make it open world enough where we have more interaction with the environment and more interaction with the character and more customization in general. And this is something that we could see at the gameplay demo from
sort of like God of War, maybe
squeezing through every bit.
Maybe
in the forest gameplay. It's amazing. It's amazing how intricate and how detailed they've actually had the environment, being able to interact with it. So he also went on to say that the demo that we saw, the gameplay demo, which we saw last year in 2018, and we just saw just 2-3 days ago when they released over 3 hours of footage, which have been circulating the internet, you know, in different order, different bits and pieces, because a lot of different companies and media companies and individuals essentially got, one company got a chunk of the gameplay, another company has a separate chunk of the gameplay. But long story short, the 3 hours that the public got to play, the companies I should say got to play, is nothing when it comes to the whole entire game. What I mean by
I'm pretty sure
those 3 hours of gameplay is no more than 10% of what we're going to be seeing and what The Last of Us Part 2 has to offer, according to Neil Druckmann. That, in my opinion, is
That's
amazing.
ridiculous.
Now, one last thing I wanted to talk about is that Neil Druckmann confirmed that Joel will be having a major role in The Last of Us Part 2.
Right.
Yes, black and white, major role. Now, I'm going to be making a separate video about this. My next video is going to be inspired about Joel. I'm going to go into so much more details on what I think his role is going to be. And in my opinion, this comes as great news because a lot of people were starting to worry on how little they've seen Joel so far when it comes to any trailer or any gameplay we've seen. We virtually didn't get to see Joel at all for 3 years until 3 days ago. So... Yes, guys, The Last of Us Part 2
my son old as hell.
Much longer, 30 hours long of straight campaign. Multiplayer is going to be on a separate disc, and according to Neil Druckmann and everybody that works for Naughty Dog, this is their biggest project that they've ever worked on. No wonder they had to split the campaign and the multiplayer into 2 separate games. So, fret not, stay up, and thank you so much for watching. I'm Breakthrough Gaming, your #1 source for The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm out. Also, don't forget to participate in my 30-copy giveaway, and also check out Alka Gaming for providing me exclusive gameplay of The Last of Us Part 2 that we managed to edit together from the media event. If you want to check out more gameplay and exclusive information for The Last of Us Part 2, check out his channel in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm out. Peace.
Shout out to Breakthrough, man. Seriously. Hey, bro. Wait, what's this? The rest of the video is only gameplay? Is this gameplay that I've already seen? Maybe not. Maybe. Yeah, this is. I've seen this. But hey, bro, keep it up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Definitely keep up the good work. And I think me and Breakthrough are gonna probably collab when it gets closer to game release. That's what I'm thinking off the top of my head, because like weekends is kind of hard to collab or do anything because of the fact that you already know. You know what I'm saying? You already know who I be with during the weekends and shit like that. So I can't necessarily do a lot. But yeah, bro, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. I can't wait for this shit. Yes, and I'm very interested on how, you know, we already know Joel's obviously gonna play a major role. That's damn near, he basically raised Ellie, if you want to be real, bro. He taught her everything that she know. So, you know what I'm saying? So, it makes sense that he's gonna play a major role, but I wonder what story they're gonna build around Joel in The Last of Us 2. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hell yeah. But hey, if you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Please turn on notifications to get notified when I upload and stream, man. And I'm out of here. Peace. I'm not ready for this shit. Bro, what the fuck, bro? Hold up, bro. No, this shit went to the next level with the fatality.